One of the most reliable indicators of a person's risk for developing a substance use disorder is their family history. Decades of research have shown that individuals with a close relative who have struggled with addiction, especially a parent or sibling, are significantly more likely to face challenges themselves. This pattern is not coincidental, rather, it reflects the powerful influence of inherited genetic traits, which can pass from one generation to the next and shape a person's susceptibility to addiction. Having a family history of addiction does not automatically mean that someone will become addicted. However, it increases the statistical likelihood. Studies involving twins, adopted children, and multi-generational family groups have consistently found elevated addicted rates among those with biological relatives who have substance use disorders. In fact, the risk can double or even triple depending on how closely related the affected family members are. The reasons for this elevated risk are twofold. First, shared genetic traits may influence brain chemistry, emotional regulation, impulsivity, or susceptibility to stress. Second, families often share environmental factors such as exposure to trauma, social modeling of substance use, or inconsistent parenting styles, which can reinforce addictive behaviors. However, even when environmental factors are controlled for, such as in adoption studies, genetic links remain strong. This suggests that while environment matters, genetics are a key driver behind familial patterns of addiction. When addiction runs in families, the transmission is not usually tied to a single gene. Instead, it reflects a combination of inherited traits that, when present together, create a fertile ground for substance use to take root. These traits may include high impulsivity or risk-taking behavior, heightened sensitivity to reward, leading to stronger response to pleasurable stimuli like drugs or alcohol, difficulty regulating emotions, particularly under stress or conflict, low tolerance for boredom or distress, increasing the driver to seek relief through substances. These characteristics do not guarantee addiction, but they can shape how a person interacts with substances. For example, someone who is genetically wired to seek intense stimulation may find alcohol or stimulants particularly appealing, while someone with a low ability to tolerate stress may turn to opioids or sedatives for relief. Understanding one's family history is not just about knowing the risks, it's about being empowered with insight. When individuals are aware that addiction has affected their family, they can make more informed decisions about their own behaviors, environment, and support systems. This awareness can encourage early intervention when signs of substance misuse begin to emerge, inform healthcare providers, allowing them to monitor the red flags and personalize treatment, motivate individuals to engage in protective behaviors, such as avoiding high-risk social situations, building emotional regulation skills, and seeking therapy when needed. Moreover, clinicians and counselors often use family history as a core diagnostic and treatment planning tool. It helps identify hidden vulnerabilities and tailor prevention strategies, especially for adolescents and young adults whose substance use patterns are still forming. In this way, exploring family history does more than trace the past. It helps guide the future. Recognizing that addiction can have a hereditary component reduces shame, breaks cycles of denial, and encourages proactive, compassionate approaches to recovery and wellness.